Hey guys, this is the daily news analysis of 15th of December guys. Yesterday I've given a question that FAME India scheme is administered by which ministry. So the correct option will be option C, that is Ministry of Heavy Industries. Now the first news of today is about Delhi government to foot accident victims treatment bill. Actually Delhi government is going to bring forth a bill which provides free treatment to victims of road accident, fires and acid attacks in the private hospital. Now see, up till now the condition was that if any sort of victims was there, then those victims were not carried out to private hospital, just because the private hospital charged huge money. So those victims were transferred to the government hospitals where there were shortage of different medical resources, as well as sometimes the equipments are not available in government hospitals, right? So the toll of death regarding to these kind of road accident, fires and acid attacks were huge. But now after coming up of this bill, it is being said that the treatment, since the treatment in private hospitals will get free, so those attacks victim could be transferred to the nearby hospitals of the region of the incident where that incident took place, right? As well as the government, Delhi government has thought of bringing forth a policy which is called Good Samaritan policy, guys. Under this policy, there will be given to, the Good Samaritan. Those Good Samaritan are those people who carry out these victims to the hospital, right? So they are called Good Samaritan. So they will be given 2,000 rupees if at all they are bringing these victims to the hospital, right? Next news about center is planning to give 500 rupees to TB patients every month. Actually this decision of center is coming after the proposal that has been given by the head of central TB division, and they have earlier said that the cash benefit will be given to tribal and BPL patients only. But after a meeting, so central government has decided no, will give this 500 rupees to each and every patients in India, right? Now it is just being said, this approval has just been taken by the central government, but that has not been formally approved, right? It needs the approval of finance department first. After that it will become law, right? So why the center is planning to give this 500 rupees to TB patients? Because to so that every TB patients in India could achieve a minimum nutritional support, right? Because there are many people who are neither belonging from tribal and BPL patient, but still they are they are influenced by this TB disease, right? So that's why this is a token of help from the government, so that they can at least come up fulfill their nutritional support, so that in future the TB patients, the number of TB patients could get reduced, and the other diseases like severe diseases, death and drug toxicity which are related to TB patients, those could be reduced to an extent. Next news is about anti-defection law. This was in news because the Vice President of India, that is Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, has taken action against two JDUs, that is Janata Dal United's party's MP in the case of speedy justice, and it is being applauded by the intelligentsia sections of India, because up till now the situation was, if against any of the ministers there used to pass anti-defection law, then it would have taken months and months, and in fact years to complete. All right, and if you actually logically think, then there is just a 5-year terms of any ministers or members, right? So it's of no use if you are taking for the if you're taking for the anti-defection law 5 years or 4 years or 3 years, then it's of no use, right? They're ultimately getting the money from the government. So that's why this is a case of speedy justice that has been shown by the present Vice President. And if you will just read a bit about anti-defection law, guys, so whenever a member of the house or a member of a particular party raises voice against that party in which he is presently in, then he is liable to be taken out of that party from the party head, right? Again, as per the norms of anti-defection law, there are few other norms which are satisfying the anti-defection law. If you want to read about it, guys, huge and whole things is given in this Lakshmikant book. I'll suggest you to go through that, right? Next news is about Jallikattu issue. Supreme Court has recently said that they will be giving this case to the constitutional bench so as to ascertain whether this Jallikattu falls under the cultural right which has been granted by the Constitution of India under Article 29.1 clause 1. Now, what is this Article 29 clause 1 says? If any citizen in the territory of India and they have distinct language, script, all culture, then they have full right to conserve the same, right? So actually, this was a new, the petition has been filed in Supreme Court by PETA, that is People of Ethical Treatment of Animals. So it is an NGO regarding safeguard of animals, right? So they have filed a petition in Supreme Court that before few years, Supreme Court has said that Jallikattu will be banned. But against dodging the order of Supreme Court, the government of Tamil Nadu has passed an ordinance in which they have again legalized Jallikattu. Right. So what is this? So Supreme Court, and this matter is very, very huge and very sensitive, because when they were like Tamil Nadu people were they were stand together and protesting against the order of Supreme Court, then there were many voices coming from different sections of Tamil Nadu that we want a different nation. So since this matter is very sensitive, so the Supreme Court has said that okay, we'll just transfer this case to the constitutional bench and let them decide whether it is cultural right or not. Next news about India's and Morocco has signed memorandum of agreement. Actually, guys, so let's see that what is the actual memorandum of agreement, which are the sectors in which the memorandum of agreement has been signed. Before that, let's see where the location of India and Morocco, right? Morocco is in northwestern corner of African continent, and India is in South Asia, as you can see here, right? Now the cooperations are done on healthcare, water resources and marine sectors. So if you at all want to see that which are the sectors inside healthcare, so you can read it yourself also, guys. Next news is about Sakhi OneStop Center. Actually, two-day national workshop on the role of Sakhi, that is one-stop center, to strengthen the multi-sectoral response to violence against women, has recently been conducted in New Delhi, and it was being organized by Ministry of Women and Child Development. Now it is being said that it will provide for different officials and different stakeholders to come at a single platform, and they'll discuss, deliberate on strengthening the multi-sectoral response, how the response could be addressed when there comes a case against violence of women, right, through these Sakhi centers, right? Now it will also facilitate different range of services like medical aid, police assistance, legal aid, case management, psychological counseling, temporary support services. Because up till now it was being seen that if any cases were against women were coming, then it couldn't be solved at a fast and conducive manner, right? So this Sakhi One-Stop Center will provide these kind of services also, and this will be Sakhi One-Stop Center will be implemented in pan India, but in phase wise manner, not at a single stroke. Next news is about ATL, that is Atal Tinkering Labs Community Day. Actually, NITI's Atal Innovation Mission has launched this Atal Tinkering Lab Community Day on 15th of December, that is today, and it is being said that it is marking the community drive initiative in which there will be 25 young mentors who will be engaging with 200 students that will be brought from different NGOs, and the specification of these students will be like they had not been enrolled in any kind of formal education system, all right, and they will be it is being said that through this Atal Tinkering Lab Community Day, they will give an impact, they will leave their impact on Atal Tinkering Labs by inventing something which is the need of today, all right, because there are many problems of communities, right, those are not being solved by other student section of or different people, just because they are unaware of the ground situation. But these children, since they have faced some sort of problems while living in these kind of communities, so they were having ground knowledge, so they can they can use their knowledge for the well-being of our country, right? So that's why this is the initiative of Niti Aayog. Next news is about coming from Legative Prosperity Index. Actually, it is an annual ranking which is being published by London-based Legative Institute, and recently they have released the Legative Prosperity Index 2017. Now, what does it tells, guys? It tells that world's leading global measure of social and economic well-being. I mean, how it is going to happen. I mean, in now present day world, right? And it basically sees that how the prosperity is forming and changing across the world. So they are taking 104 indicators and studying these 104 indicators. They are coming to the conclusion that how prosperity is forming and changing across the world. And these 124 indicators are belonging from the sectors like economic quality, business environment, governance, personal freedom, social capital, safety and security, education, health, and natural environment. And a few observations are also there, like in the year 27, the highest level of this prosperity has been recorded since the last decade. Prosperity growth rate is faster in the year between the year 2012 to 2017 with respect to 2007 and 2012, and the gap between the highest and lowest score in the index have increased for the 5 straight years, and the spread between the nation is also growing. Now from this thing we can conclude that while prosperity as a whole in the world is increasing, but all the countries are not getting benefited at the same rate. Few other of the observations are also there, like Asia Pacific region has get the greatest gains because of the fast improving business environment, especially in the population centers country like India, which is 100th rank, China, which is 90th rank, Pakistan, which is 137, and Indonesia, which is 59th rank. And every region in the world has improved in governance, out of which Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa's rise is the fastest, right? Across the world, judiciary also become more independent, and people are getting more confident about the outcomes of incomes. And despite the gains in social capital and strengthening business environment and overall prosperity in the whole of world, but the prosperity in the Middle East and North African region has suffered because of the conditions like war and terrorism, right? So these are few of the observation. Now this graph shows how the BRICS rank in Legative Prosperity Index. Now if you see all the BRICS countries, guys, only India is the country whose rank have improved. Rest, China's rank was the same, Brazil, South Africa and Russia's rank have fallen down, and Russia's rank has fallen down to the most, right? Now this prosperity score also shows the governance global score, in which you can observe that 2017 prosperity is the most in the past decade, right? And also if you see the score change, then the Asia Pacific has improved a lot with comparison to other regions. Next news is coming about Hambantota port. Actually recently the China has formally handed over the southern port of Hambantota to China for a lease of 99 years, which was earlier even now being not being like taken by the India so welcomingly, right? India don't want to see the footprint of China in Indian Ocean region, but the Sri Lanka has already given them, but with that, Sri Lanka has also said that any of the naval ships of China would not be allowed in Hambantota port. They are only giving this port for economic purposes. If at all naval ships of China had to come to this Hambantota port, then they have to take the permission from Sri Lankan government, right? So next news is about email IDs in Hindi. Actually Rajasthan has become the first state in the country to provide free email address in Hindi to all its residents, and it will be given in Devanagari Lipi, right? Next news is about electrical waste in India. Actually recently a report which is called Global E-Waste Monitor report has came, and there has few warning is been given through this report. Actually they have warned about the health and environment dangers that are from the processing of e-waste, and also the India is being focused in this report, in which it is being said that informal sector of India is utilizing this electronic waste without any proper safeguard. And few of the other observations are over 1 million poor people in India are involved in manual recycling operations of these electronical waste, through which they can, you know, recover precious materials like gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, etc. Right? And it is you know, summing up for around $55 billion value. But these manual recycling laborers of e-waste have low literacy and little awareness about e-waste policies. Means they have also, like this report have indirectly said that the government is not doing much for the proper safeguard regarding the e-waste, right? There are existing laws also, but enforcement is not that good, and also the recycling program is not that good. Guys, few of the other concerns were that producers and manufacturers are also not having adequate information about how the e-waste could be managed. And one fact was given about the India's effort. So India has given its effort regarding the management of e-waste, though, by, you know, recently coming up with e-waste policy 2016, in which they have given extended producer responsibility, in which the manufacturer who is producing the e-waste, say for example the battery of a Dell laptop, I have a Dell laptop and the battery is Dell, of that laptop is e-waste only, right? If it is getting wasted, so where I'll throw that? So that is the responsibility that is coming under the extended producer responsibility. Means Dell company again have to contact me and ask for my, you know, replaceable that battery, right? So again I have to give that battery to the Dell company, against which they will give me few of the money or something like that. Next news about Buenos Aires Declaration on Women and Trade. See guys, this is the first time happening in the history of World Trade Organization that World Trade Organization's members and observers have endorsed collective initiative to increase the participation of women in trade. Now they are telling that it will help women to reach their fully potential in the world economy, as well as if there are any sort of barriers existing today regarding in World Trade Organization platform which hampers the economic empowerment of women, so those barriers will also be removed. But India is very much concerned in this matter because, you know, they are seeing that how can a non-trade matter be, you know, inserted in trade forum, right? This is just a trade forum. You cannot, you know, bring the gender equality issue in this platform, right? So India has totally said that we are not going to endorse this move, just because in future there is a probability like that the developed countries use their, you know, high standard in gender related policies in order to curb the exports from developing countries like India, right? So we don't want this. All right, so this is the stand of India as of now. So if any new news further happens, then we'll just talk about it. Now the question of today is regarding Saket, that is one-stop center. Which of the following statements are correct? Option 1 is its role is to strengthen multi-sectoral response to violence against differently abled people, and second is it is administered under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So guys, the four options are given, one only, two only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So you just have to write the correct option out of this four options, right? So yeah, this is all up to it guys. We'll meet in next class. Till then, bye bye, take care, thank you for listening.